In yesterday's video, we spoke about whether or not I believed it was too late to be buying Kaspa at this point, and realistically what my expectations were for the next few weeks. I told you all that from a fundamental perspective, an ecosystemic perspective, that Kaspa still has a lot of potential, and that even if the price does pull back in the short term or cool down in the short term, the likelihood is there's so much more room to the upside for them because there's just simply so much more development and so much more that can happen as an ecosystem that I do think that there could be some more price growth in the future. But in today's video, I want to give you all a little bit more of a specific price prediction of what I would be expecting Kaspa's price to possibly do. Of course, you cannot read cards and know where its price is going to go. I can't predict the future and I don't have a crystal ball, but I can use some historical patterns to make a very educated guess. And well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all and let's get straight into today's video. Now, prior to getting into the technical side of things, I do want to make one thing clear. I really don't believe that when a cryptocurrency is as small in a grand scheme of things as Kaspa, that you can make a full-blown price prediction solely off of its charts. Now, the reason why I believe that, and the reason why I believe you need to combine technical analysis and fundamental analysis, is because there are so many things happening on an ecosystemic level that it will continue to grow the name of Kaspa, which will in turn grow the price, the volume, and the overall holder count of Kaspa, which doesn't really have much to do with the technical side of things, right? You can see, for example, what's just been happening. We're over on Kaspa Currency's Twitter right here, and you can see here, boom, this Kaspa wallet and the Kaspa card just recently came out, which does look really cool, by the way. But again, that's just another thing that can get people excited and grow the Kaspa brand. You can also see here that the Kaspa mobile wallet, the Caspium, is now available for download on iOS and Android app stores. Boom. Another thing that technical analysis can't predict that will bring more value to Kaspa as a whole. Even things such as this, in which they are growing their ambassador program and just getting the Kaspa name out there, is just another thing that charts can't predict the value that that's going to bring in, right? So do remember, before we get into this technical side of things, there are things happening on the back end and the front end that the technicals aren't going to show you. But in terms of technicals, let's talk about what I am seeing from Kaspa and what my guess is for what its price is capable of. So what I'm looking at with Kaspa here is obviously just this ascending channel. This is something that we've been in for, pretty much the entire existence of Kaspa, having a moment of course, overextension here, but for a general sense, this is where we have just been trending, okay? Now, whenever you're in a trending channel of this nature, one thing I do want to warn people about is at some given point, typically, you will break to the downside of this channel, whether it happens here, whether it would have happened back here, whether it happens in 2024. Who knows? You will almost always lose ascending levels of support of this nature. Prior warning, okay? But the question becomes, well, if that's not the case, what if that's not right now, right? What if it's October, we have maybe a good few months coming up here, maybe there's more developments again from an ecosystemic level for Kaspa, and this price does continue upwards. Well, where can this thing go? Well, under the circumstances and kind of with that in mind, what I would go ahead and say is that my price prediction for Kaspa for the next big move to the upside, if that happens, is right around 9.5 cents to the upside. Now, the reason why I'm under the belief that this is the case is purely based off of the chart history of Kaspa and what it typically does in terms of its Fibonacci retracements. You see, Kaspa has a strong tendency, a very strong tendency to interact with its 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, or overextension level, sorry, extremely actively. What I mean by that is if you take your Fibonacci and you go from realistically any swing high to swing low, you can see that the point in which we start to see slowdowns happen, the point in which we really start to see it not move much more to the upside, is right around this 1.618 level. It gets up here, it has a straight shot up, but the moment it gets there, now we're starting to pull back and back test and go up and back test and boom and back test and go back up, etc. Right? Now, what I can do is I can just apply a Fibonacci to pretty much any one of these moves, and you will see a rather consistent pattern. I mean, let's do a more macro move here, right? Boom. At what point did we finally start to slow down? At what point did we finally have to start back testing support? We hit resistance, broke it, came back, established support, use this to then climb to the upside from that given point. As you can see, the 1.618 level was the deciding factor here. If we do go ahead and just take this Fibonacci, let's go from this swing low, or this swing high, sorry, to this swing low right here. Boom. Where did we go up to? At what point did we start to slow down? It's when Kaspa got up to this 1.618 level, boom, and then we started to pull back to the downside. This is a rather consistent thing. This is something that Kaspa has done throughout its entire chart history, and so I am under the belief personally that this is very, very likely to continue. So with that in mind, where we are right now is we are still working on the overextension from this overextended swing high to this swing low here. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw your Fibonacci retracement from this swing high down to this swing low, and that is going to give you your Fibonacci retracement levels. The first one being at 1.272 or at 0.061 cents, and then the final one, the 1.618, being at 0.096 cents. So with that in mind, of course, my first estimate and my first guess, because that's all this is just an educated guess, is that we would see some type of move up towards 61 cents or 0.061. Now, obviously, we should be on track to get to that point if we're capable of breaking this 5-cent psychological threshold, because realistically, that's all this is. This 5-cent level is nothing more than a psychological barrier, a psychological threshold. This is kind of that number, like whenever a crypto gets up to $1, it'll freeze at $1. Realistically, liquidity wise, not really an important level until we started to establish liquidity here. Overextension metrics, there's nothing really sitting here. Smart money concept metrics, there's really not much sitting there on a more grand scheme of things. So 5 cents is really just a psychological level. And if we're capable of breaking above 0.52, I am under the belief that your first stop is around 6.1 or just 6 cents realistically. And then your second stop towards the long run, maybe after a back test or a bounce, is looking somewhere around 9 cents or 0.096. Now that is a move to the upside that I am saying of about another 90%. So obviously that is bold, and there are a lot of things that have to happen prior to getting there. But if I had to make a general assumption of where the price will go if and only if we do not come back down and lose this key level of support, I would say that somewhere around 0.096 is a likely answer. That is a little bit before that 10-cent threshold. So I would assume as we would approach 10 cents, people would start to sell off. So I personally would start to look to start selling off or just taking some profits around that 0.095, 0.096 level. Now, I want you to bear in mind and be fully aware that, again, this is only an educated guess. And at any given point, if the market goes sideways or the market goes bad, if anything bad happens from a fundamental perspective, this thing can easily come back down to this ascending level of support and lose it, as it will one day. One day it will lose this support, and you just need to be mentally prepared that could be the next move that this thing makes, so be ready for it. But if that's not the case, we're looking for 0.096 to the upside, at which point I would start to personally think that is getting overextended, similar to how it did in these positions, and it might need time to rest. So with that said, that is my price prediction for Kaspa in 2023, and of course I hope you guys did enjoy. I really like making these Kaspa videos. I like what they're doing fundamentally, and so I would love to continue to cover them on the channel, so make sure you do let me know down in the comment section below if that's what you want to see. But with that said, of course, I will see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.